Jerry Jones, the owner, general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, Clarence Hill Jr. of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, knows him very well, covers the team, does an outstanding job. How long have you been there now, Clarence?
This is my 28th training camp.
28, wow. 28 years of misery.
Four playoff wins, 28 training camp.
Oh, wow, 28. So last time they actually won was 96. Was it 96 they won? So you were there.
It was the 96 Super Bowl, 95 season.
That was like one of your first seasons, right?
No, my first full season was 97.
No, oh, you missed it. So it's you.
Oh. It's me. I'm the G. Listen, like I tell people, it ain't me because I raised champions. My daughter was a state champion gymnast, and my oldest daughter was the NAACP Image Award winner. So I raised champions. So it's bigger than me.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about. And your last name is Hill, so we're not jinxes.
You're cousins.
Yeah, the only thing we messed up his marriage was me. So I'm sorry.
I'm your boys too, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Well, we ain't gonna talk about that either, man. Let's talk about this. Maybe CeeDee Lamb will be divorcing the Cowboys very soon if he doesn't get what he wants, man. From what you're hearing, what's the latest on that?
First of all, that's not happening. The Cowboys have never lost anybody they wanted to keep. There's never lost any, high draft pick that they came up for new contract. They've all signed new deals. It hasn't been easy. It's been a negotiation. It's been the art of negotiating the process. But that's not happening. Certainly, Jerry Jones, I would say, had his Zeke Who moment over the last week. I don't know if you remember the Zeke Who conversations back in 2019 when Jerry made a joke about Zeke Who while Zeke was holding out in Cabo.
And Tony Pollard came in. Yep.
Yeah, Tony Pollard had a good game, and Jerry said Zeke Who. Jerry was joking. He likes to joke. He likes to have fun. It's not fun when you're on the other side of negotiating. It's funny because one thing Zeke told us earlier in this camp, we was talking about CeeDee's camp, is that the first 4 years of your career, everybody loves you. Everybody in the organization tells you how good you are. And then you're across the negotiating tables, and it's different. You're out there lonely. You're out there by yourself. And certainly that was the situation here with CeeDee. Jerry's done a million negotiations, okay? Million contract negotiations. It's fun. It's business for him. For the players, it's personal. And when I hear my owner say it's not urgent to get me signed, it's personal. So he took offense to that, and certainly he retweeted what Jerry said and with a LOL. And then he took the Cowboys logos all off his social media handles, everything else. But just like with the Zeke Who situation, when Jerry said Zeke Who, Zeke was mad. Then a few days later, or a few weeks later, Zeke signed the richest contract of running back in NFL history, and they got T-shirts with Zeke Who on them.
Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing, though. That year, they didn't have to, I don't know if it had Dak to sign. You got Micah Parsons you got to sign. You got to make decisions. And right before we came on the air, we was on television talking about the piece of the pie. The pie is only so big. I know the salary cap grows or whatever, but the pie is so big, and you got to make a decision on what you're going to give Dak, what you're going to give Micah Parsons, and what's going to be left over if you get CeeDee his contract. So I think CeeDee probably wants maybe what Justin Jefferson gets, and CeeDee deserves what Justin Jefferson gets. What are the chances that he gets what he wants and he's satisfied with the Cowboys to maintain that, stay there?
Well, as I said before, everybody's always gotten what they wanted. Zeke got
but with all the decisions they got to make now, this the decisions they have to make when it comes to Dak and Micah and everybody else, taking that in consideration as well.
No doubt, and Micah's coming up next year. Micah's not this year, and the cap does go up. CeeDee is a priority right now because he's not in the camp. Dak's in camp. Dak's in the catbird seat. Either the Cowboys going to pay him or somebody's going to pay him in free agency. He's, the market's the market. He's looking at, talking to people $60 million in free agency, or whatever else. So the Cowboys have to pay him at least, the floor for Dak is $55 million. Certainly CeeDee wants that Justin Jefferson deal and be in that ballpark. He deserves that. And that's what we're looking at. And I think at some point he's going to get it because he's the priority right now. He's the one that's not in camp. This is a season, I say, on the brink for the Cowboys. You got Mike McCarthy last year of his deal. The entire coaching staff in the last year of their deals. You got 30-something players in the final years of their contract. There's no next year for the majority of this team. And if you're trying to win, you're trying to get it done, and Jerry says he's all in, he needs CeeDee in camp.
Yeah, he's got to get CeeDee in camp. He's got to get that weapon for Dak Prescott. Speaking of Dak Prescott, like you said, they're all in. Either make or break year for maybe Dak Prescott, maybe Mike McCarthy as well. Which has the most pressure on him? Which guy has the most pressure on him? Is it Dak or is it Mike McCarthy?
I think it's Mike McCarthy for sure because, again, the Cowboys want Dak long term. It's just a matter of coming to terms of numbers. And I think that whether it's with the Cowboys or somewhere else, Dak is going to get paid. He's proven he's a top 10 quarterback. He's a free agent, unrestricted free agent on the market. He's in the catbird seat. He has all the leverage against the Cowboys because of the contract he gave him before and because of the situation. Mike McCarthy has no leverage. You know, he's had done a great job on paper, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5 each of the last 3 years. No coach has won more games than Mike McCarthy other than Andy Reid. The difference is Andy Reid's won 2 Super Bowls in that time. Mike McCarthy's been one and done in the playoffs. You know, he has one playoff win. And so for his future, you know, he has to win. He has to go further. Dak has a future in this league, whether it's with the Cowboys or somewhere else. He's going to get paid. He's going to be a franchise quarterback in 2025, no matter what. The question is, where will Mike McCarthy be in 2025? He needs to win. He needs the Cowboys, take the Cowboys further than they've gone, you know, since their last Super Bowl title in 1995, and with, quote unquote, a lesser team.
So when you say further, does that mean get to the Super Bowl? I mean, winning 1 or 2 playoff games in the playoffs is not enough. Like, does he have to get to the Super Bowl this year?
I think you at least need to get to the NFC Championship game. This team has not even got to the NFC Championship game since 1995. And the sad part is, and really the crux of the matter is, last year was supposed to be their best chance. You're a number 2 seed. You got a 7 seed Green Bay coming in. That's where you're healthiest you've ever been going to the playoffs, and you get the doors blown off for you at home. And so that's the thing that's hanging over this team's head since the end of the season, throughout the offseason, and it's certainly what Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys have to get. They have to find a way to play their best football when it matters most. That includes Dak Prescott. That includes CeeDee Lamb, but that most certainly includes Mike McCarthy. Get his team to play the best football in the playoffs when it matters most.
Like you say, Dak's going to get paid regardless. Next season it's going to be at the Cowboys somewhere else, like $60 million range or whatever. I looked at the preseason game yesterday. I'm like, Trey Lance threw 41 passes, 25-41. 188 yards. I know he didn't have a touchdown, interception. They're giving him some looks. What does that say to you that he's playing that much in the preseason? Are they thinking possibly, okay, let's see what this guy has just in case we have life without Dak, whether it be an injury this season or maybe next year?
No, I mean, the thing about Lance is he's undone by his draft status. The 49ers overdrafted him. They drafted him 3rd overall pick. They gave him 3 first-round picks for him. So everybody looks, hey, this former first-round pick's on the team. Maybe he's a threat for Dak Prescott. Maybe he's an option to replace Dak Prescott if they don't get it done. Trey Lance needs to find out. They need to find out Trey Lance can be a quarterback in this league. You know, his problem is that he's not played a lot of quarterback throughout his career. Dating back to high school, he only started 1 year. Going back to college, he only had 17 starts in 3 years. He only played 4 starts, in San Francisco. He has not played a lot of football. He does not have a lot of time on task. The Cowboys just trying to find out if he can be a quarterback, a backup quarterback of the future. Right now, he's competing potentially with Cooper Rush to be the backup quarterback. But if I'm the Cowboys, there's nothing Trey Lance can do in the preseason against backups and limited reps and limited schemes if Dak's hurt, I'm going to put him in over Cooper Rush, who's 5-1 as a starter in real games. 5-1 as a starter in real games. He's the backup. He showed you that. And so they're trying to find out what they have in Trey Lance, what type of player it can be. You know, there's no threat at all to Dak Prescott's job. You know, it's funny because everybody talks about, you know, you go back to Patrick Mahomes when he was a rookie, and Alex Smith was starting in Kansas City. And Alex Smith was starting and winning games, but you heard a lot of buzz about what Patrick Mahomes was doing in practice. Trey Lance was here all year. There was no buzz.
No buzz. Okay?
There was no, this guy's doing this in practice. He's a great kid, nice kid, loved him to death. He's a decent athlete, good athlete. But there's nothing next level about his game that says this guy should be the starter in place of Dak Prescott.
Chill, I've been knowing you since 2002, I believe, when I was down there in Dallas, man. Love you to death, bro. Cowboys fans, I know how they are down there in the Metroplex. I know all around the country how Cowboys fans, high expectations, whatnot. And every single year, I think they're, disillusioned because they think they're going to win the Super Bowl. We're not hearing that as much. They just did a poll, I believe, and over 70% of some of the Cowboys fans don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl in the next 10 years. How has expectations been tampered a little bit, hammered down a little bit in the Cowboys land? And is that a good thing? Because they can just go into the season saying, okay, well, maybe we don't have expectations. We can actually do something that might surprise the fans out here.
the problem is whether it's a good thing or bad thing, people still going to be talking about them.
Yeah.
The attention is still going to be there. But yeah, fans are as disillusioned and frustrated as I've ever seen. Going into a season, it is not just because of the last 3 years, because of the last 28 years. I mean, they have not been to the NFC title game since their last trip to the Super Bowl in 1995. It's been nothing but frustration. Look at my Twitter bio. I got like 7 coaches and 4 playoff wins, nothing but unfulfilled expectations, from the retirement of Troy Emmitt and Michael to the Quincy Carter years to the T.O. and Tony Romo roller coaster years to now we got the Dak and Zeke years. And it's still the same results for Cowboy fans. So they're frustrated. They're disillusioned. But the expectations inside the organization, the expectation from the media, the attention from the media has not changed. They're on prime time every week. People are still going to be talking about Dak's contract and Zeke's contract and CeeDee Lamb's contract. So I don't know that expectations are lower. I mean, Cowboy fans has PTSD right now for sure, but the expectation within the organization for people outside the organization, if they don't win, it's still going to be blared in 6-inch headlines.
Yeah, the spotlight's still going to be like the Lakers, the Cowboys. I mean, America's team is still going to be there. ESPN, all the organizations, sports news organizations will still be talking about the Cowboys. We talked about everything. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, got to get him in camp. The defense, Mike Zimmer now the defense coordinator taking over for Quinn. Back, I love Zim to death. I think the defense is going to be better with, even though the defense was great last year under Quinn, I think Mike Zimmer is just a guy that just breathes the Cowboys. He's a long-term defense coordinator back in the fold there with them. With everything that they have going on, you've been around this team, like you said, 28 seasons. What is going to be the biggest factor in determining if they get to at least the NFC Championship game or Super Bowl this year, in your opinion?
I mean, they have to be better on defense. I mean, people talk so much about Dak Prescott and his play against Green Bay, but that defense was god awful. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. The quarterback had a perfect quarterback rating. The running back rushed for 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. They were out schemed. They were outplayed. That defense has to be better, but it also has to be a mindset. I said it earlier. They're great players, and that includes Dak. That includes CeeDee Lamb. That includes Michael Parsons, I think, who has 1 career playoff sack. They have to find a way for the best players to play their best football when it matters most.
And that's in the playoffs, and that's one thing they haven't been able to do. All right. Clarence, great seeing you, man. Great talking to you. I look forward to you're in town for the next week or so, right?
Yes, I will be in another week or so.
Okay, you know what's happening that Sunday, right?
I got you. I come back from we go to Vegas for the Raiders game, and I'll be back on Sunday. The Cowboys play the Raiders in the second preseason game in Vegas on Saturday. I'll be back Sunday, and I'll be at your party.
Oh, yeah. It was birthday week for Mike Hill. Yeah, Clarence, you know how we do it, too. It's going to have fun, bro. We're going to do it right, as always. Clarence E. Hill Jr., Dallas Cowboys beat writer for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, hanging out with us here on the Rich Eisen Show. Always good seeing you, my man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, chill.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.